one of the best. He's one of the best fighters out there, man. Honestly, his talent is different, and I've been in front. I've seen it firsthand. It's different. It's some different shit going on with that kid. He amazing, and I just still feel.
Shane Mosley believes the fight between Shakur Stevenson and Teófimo Lopez will come down to styles and the decisions made on fight night. He says Teofimo will throw sharp, aggressive punches that could trouble Shakur and force him out of his comfort zone. Mosley also points out that Teofimo is not just a power fighter, as he can box effectively when needed. According to Mosley, the matchup is unpredictable, and everything depends on which version of Shakur shows up and how he chooses to handle Teofimo's pressure.
And Shakur being signed up for a fight also. How do you see that? Is it a 50-50 fight? Is it, a style fight where it favors one or the other, in your opinion, Shane?
Yeah, it's a style where which fighter can impose their will on the other. Which can impose their style on the other style. So Shakur Stevenson has a very strong style where he can sit back and pot shot you and box and stuff like that, where Teofimo can also box and is very athletic and can get from side to side and can make things difficult for you as well. So what style is going to impose on the other is what we want to see.
So which style will impose? Is it something where the first rounds really will dictate, or?
I think you're going to need a couple of rounds, but the first round is going to be very interesting. Maybe you see some tails, but I think maybe 2 or 3 you're going to start seeing one leave the other. Because I don't think that, maybe, Shakur might show some different, if he has to go after Teofimo, he might show some different type of heart that we haven't seen or different type of fighting we haven't seen. And vice versa, whereas Teofimo's hitting him with different shots off the angle that is kind of giving, Shakur Stevenson trouble. We'll see about that. So we just don't know.
Yeah, the thing is I think people overlook of Teofimo is he can box when he wants to. He's shown he has a slick style too when he wants to do that.
When he wants to do that. So if you have a slick style and you got power and you got the speed too, and you're fighting at 140, so let's see. I don't know if Shakur Stevenson's going.
Shakur Stevenson's preparation for the Teófimo Lopez fight reflects a fighter who understands the magnitude of the moment. His training camp appears disciplined and isolated, with full focus placed on sharpening his skills rather than engaging with outside noise. There is a clear sense that Stevenson has approached this camp with seriousness and intent, treating the fight as a career-defining opportunity rather than just another bout. His routines emphasize conditioning, timing, and repetition, showing a belief that consistency wins on big nights. The locked-in atmosphere around his camp suggests confidence built through preparation, not bravado. Stevenson seems fully aware that this matchup requires precision and patience, and his camp reflects a mindset focused on execution rather than hype.
Ready to go? We about to fuck T.O. up.
We lock in. We lock in. This shit is the dream team.
Blair Cobbs offers a grounded perspective on the matchup, emphasizing Stevenson's mental sharpness more than any single physical attribute. According to Cobbs, Shakur's greatest strength lies in his awareness inside the ring and his ability to remain calm under pressure. He views Stevenson as a fighter who reads situations quickly and adjusts without panic. Cobbs believes this awareness will allow Shakur to land cleaner and more frequent punches against Teófimo Lopez. Rather than engaging in reckless exchanges, Stevenson is expected to control moments, pick his shots, and frustrate his opponent. This perspective frames Shakur as a calculated technician whose intelligence could outweigh raw aggression on fight night.
He's very disciplined. He's very disciplined. He's very strategic. He's very patient. And the way he boxes, he's very simple in his simplicity of how he executes. He does not have a whole lot of nonsense. And if Teo gets caught lost, Teo tends to get caught lost in his mind sometimes. And sometimes he does things for no reason. if he does that consistently, which he will, Shakur will land more punches. And that's all it would be. It'd just be more punches. I wouldn't say that like Shakur would hurt him. You know what I mean? But I think it'd just go like that. You know, Shakur is very small too. You know, and moving up in these weight classes can be problematic.
Okay. Do you feel like Teofimo Lopez has a good chance in this fight? Or do you feel like no, Shakur outclasses him? Is it a big spread apart? Is it that 8 to 4 rounds type of fight in your eyes?
I think it could be an 8-4 round fight. But Teofimo is very talented. Let's not forget that talent. Teofimo is very, very talented. But Shakur is a different kind of beast. You know, that's not even talent. That's something.
Gary Anchuan Russell narrows the discussion by pointing to a specific version of Teófimo Lopez, particularly his performance against Vasiliy Lomachenko. In that fight, Lopez combined pressure with composure, remaining disciplined while applying consistent forward movement. Russell believes that when Lopez commits fully to that style, he becomes far more dangerous. It is not reckless aggression, but controlled pressure that forces mistakes. This viewpoint shifts attention away from Teófimo's inconsistencies and instead highlights his potential when he is fully focused and disciplined. Russell explains that Lopez's success depends on his ability to stay emotionally steady while pressing the action. When Teófimo rushes or becomes impatient, openings appear. However, when he applies pressure with structure, he limits an opponent's options. Against someone like Shakur Stevenson, this balance becomes crucial. From this angle, the fight becomes less about power and more about decision-making under pressure. Whether Lopez can maintain that balance for 12 rounds remains one of the biggest questions surrounding the matchup.
In the ring, it's 50-50. You know, in order for you to participate in this sport, you got to have a high level of confidence. I feel like both of them has a high level of confidence. Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson, but styles make fights. Naturally, I think Teofimo Lopez is stronger than Shakur. Naturally, I think he has more athleticism than Shakur, and he got a good IQ on the sport itself. But Shakur, I feel like he's a more smarter fighter. He's a more technical fighter. You know, I'm not saying that he's a square or he's just a textbook fighter, but he's seasoned, he's poised. I feel like mentally he's more mature. Like, he don't go outside of the boundaries on taking risks. So a lot of times you'll see him fight somebody that could be stiff competition, and it'll wind up being a born fight to a degree. You know, that's why everybody was criticizing him for, oh, he's a born fighter. He's a careful fighter. And I feel like with Teofimo Lopez, he's going to be a careful fighter. You know, just because he's a careful fighter doesn't mean that he isn't punctual with how he do things. I think Shakur, he got a lot of this arsenal that he can use to make him be victorious as well as Teofimo Lopez. You know what I mean? So it's a 50-50 fight, and it depends on what fighters show up the night of the fight. Right. You know? But if I had to give you my whole honest truth, if Teofimo Lopez show up and is ready to fight just like how he fought Lomachenko.
The discussion also revisits concerns about Shakur Stevenson as he moves up in weight. Shakur is often spoken as if he is a much smaller fighter, requesting rehydration clauses and suggesting that he does not fully belong at higher weight classes. This idea feels unusual, especially since earlier images showed him looking lean, strong, and well-conditioned, at times even appearing bigger than Teófimo Lopez during the promotion. Considering that Shakur is the one moving up from lightweight, this contrast surprised many observers. More recent photos, however, tell a slightly different story. In the latest images, Shakur appears slimmer and less filled out than before. While he still looks fit, the overall balance of his body seems changed, making him appear smaller than expected. This shift raises questions about how his body is adjusting to the new division. Whether this will affect his performance remains to be seen. Visual impressions can be misleading, and only fight night will reveal if this physical change plays any role once the action begins in the ring.
Running around acting like he's small, like he's this tiny guy. He was like, I need a rehydration clause because I don't belong at 147. So I'll fight Conor Ben. I'll fight Devin Haney if you give me a rehydration clause, which to me sounds foolish because I've done an Ego Weight Watchers on Shakur Stevenson as well. And throughout this whole promotion, Shakur looks to be bigger than Teofimo, which could be surprising to some, given the fact that Shakur is the guy moving up. He's the guy from lightweight. How he looked bigger than the champion at 140 pounds. But without further ado, let me show you these TO pictures. Boom. Very lean. You see the six-pack. He looks in shape. But the more recent picture, because this is new, but I got a more recent upload. And that picture, he looked kind of small to me. I don't know how y'all feel. Boom. You smell that? Hey, son, you see that? You can smell that? Look. Boom. Yeah, so he looked kind of small. He looked kind of small. You guys let me know in the comment section what you feel, but I've been doing this for a long time. Like, his head looked way bigger than his body.